Aces to aces. Dust to dust. If you're lucky, you win. If not, you go bust on Card Shark. And here's the host of Card Shark, Jim Perry.
What is this, the mic getting heavy, or are you two padding your part? Get out of here. Thank you, Janice Markey. And welcome to Card Shark. Our thanks to Dorothy Carter of West Palm Beach, Florida, for that opening poem, watching us on WPTV Channel 5. Thank you, Dorothy. And now we'll open up the board, and if Janice and Marky want to go do some real work, they'll deal out the cards. And we'll meet our Card Sharks. Alfreda Saylor. Hello there, Alfreda, our champion.
Oh, yes, I am.
Oh, yes, I am. Did you think you could become the champion?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't have much confidence on our last
Oh, I don't
show.
have any confidence in myself at all.
Oh, well, relax. Again, tell us about yourself.
My name is Alfreda Saylor. I'm a housewife. I have 3 beautiful children. My husband and I just celebrated our 13th wedding anniversary, and we just built a second story on our house with our own little hands.
That must have been quite an undertaking. How long did it take?
It took 1 year exactly just to move in, from the start to move in.
Are you done now?
No, we still have a lot of work to do.
Good luck with it. And you've played very well here, and we welcome back our challenger, Betty Kimes. Hi, Betty. Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
And won't you again tell us something about yourself?
Okay, I'm Betty Kimes. I'm from La Habra, California, and I teach 2nd grade. And with 7 and 8-year-olds, 30 of them a day, and my life is just full of all kinds of surprises.
Yeah, 2nd graders, they must be tough.
They're a perfect age because they're just over the babies and they think they're starting to get old. So it's
Good. Glad you enjoyed it. You both cut the cards at the beginning of the match? Then we'll pick up where we left off. Good luck to both of you. We played the best 2 games out of 3, and we are in the middle of game number 1. Looking at the board, Alfreda has moved over. She now has a 9 as her base card, needing 2 cards. Betty, right up the middle with an 8, needs 4 cards. And we pick up with a question to you, Alfreda. Alfreda, we asked 100 psychiatrists. Generally speaking, does revenge help heal a broken heart?
Well,
How many psychiatrists said revenge does help heal a broken heart?
well, psychiatrists, I think they think they're smart. And I think that they think that revenge would help, but I don't. So I think it would be about 60 would say that.
I see. You know, I understood that, Alfreda. She says 60. Higher or lower, Betty?
Well, I think in our society, especially today, there's nothing like getting even with somebody who you feel like did a dirty deal to you. And so I'm going to say it's going to be just a little bit higher.
Even higher. Well, if it's higher, Betty, you'll play your cards. If not, Alfreda plays hers. The actual number of psychiatrists who said revenge helps heal a broken heart is 18. Not higher. Very much lower. Nah, it doesn't help. And Alfreda, we left off with a 9 as your base card.
Change that card.
Whenever you win the question, you have the right to change the base card. A 5 is a good change.
Higher.
Higher than a 5? Yes, with a 9.
Freeze.
And we move over the freeze bar, protecting that position. Alfreda needs 1 card, and Betty needs 4 cards. And we are at sudden death. Someone has to win it on the next play of the cards. Betty, we asked 100 men. By the time your dad got around to telling you about the birds and the bees, did you already know everything he was telling you? How many men already knew about the birds and the bees by the time their dad told them?
Well, I asked my husband how much his father told him, and he said,
I was afraid you were
ever
going to say
got
you asked
around
your husband
to
about the birds and the bees, Betty.
So I'm going to say most of them, I think, learn it through school a lot earlier than fathers do. So I'm going to say that about 75 of them already knew about it before their
75 out of 100 already knew before Dad sat down.
Especially at this time in their lives. I say that they said that they already knew, so I think that would be even higher than that.
Even higher than that? Well, this decides control and sudden death. The actual number of men who already knew about the birds and the bees by the time their dad told them is 89. It is higher. Alfreda, it is sudden death. You have a 9. If you wanted to play it, you could change it for 1 card. Betty with an 8 needs 4 cards. You've got control. Play it or pass it. Betty, you've got a long way to go. You need every card, and you're starting right up the middle. If you make 1 mistake, the game belongs to Alfreda. With an 8, what's this?
I'm going to have to say lower.
Lower than an 8? It is a 5.
Higher.
Higher than a 5. A 7, you're halfway there.
Let's go higher.
Higher than a 7. A king.
Oh, let's go lower.
Lower than a king. Yes, he did it. Starting right up the middle with 4 cards. The challenger wins game 1, and we'll be back with game 2 right after this. What a run. What a challenger with a sensational run of cards. And as we deal out with the same 2 decks of cards, the next card's off the top of the deck. Alfreda, the pressure's on. You need this game. Starting with you. Alfreda, we found 100 women who have had their nose fixed. And we asked them, did changing your nose change your life? How many women said changing their nose did change their life?
Well, I think that they thought it would before they had the nose changed, but now that they have changed it, I read a survey and it says that it didn't make that much difference. And so I say about, well, let's say right up the middle, 50.
50 out of 100 say, yeah, it did change their life, Betty.
Well, I think just because you feel better about yourself and you feel like you look better, that you're going to try to help change your life. And so I'm going to say the number's going to be a little bit higher.
Higher. The actual number of women who said changing their nose changed their life is 49. It is not higher. Alfredo by 1. Sounds like the title of a soap opera, doesn't it? Changing my nose changed my life. Alfredo, you start with a 7.
Change.
Changing the yes, okay, changing the card. A 6, a little better.
Oh, well, higher.
Higher than a 6, a 10.
Lower.
She's going to risk it lower. She's right.
Higher.
Higher than a 2, a 10.
Freeze. I got to freeze on that one.
Now she says she's got to freeze, needing 1 card to tie up the match. Question to you, Betty. Betty, we found 100 women executives. These women are all vice presidents of corporations. And we asked them, are you earning less money than a man in your position would make? How many women executives are earning less money than a man in the same position?
Well, I think nowadays people are being really careful about pay scales, especially I think there's kind of maybe a set rate for executives within companies. So I'm going to go right up the middle. I'm going to say at least 50.
Betty said 50 out of 100 say, yes, the men they're earning less money than a man in the same position.
I think they know that the men are still making more money than they are. So let's say higher.
Higher than that. And a lot of agreement with the audience. Have you made a decision at home? The actual number of women executives who are earning less money than a man in the same position is 62. It is higher. Alfredo. Well, sorry to hear about that, but it is indeed 62 out of 100. You've got a 10.
Change it.
Big change for the champion who needs this. A 4.
Good one. Higher.
Higher to tie up the match. She did it. Game 2 goes to the champion. So now, each player with 1 game and $100. We've set up for the tiebreaker. 3 cards up there, 3 questions here, 2 good players, and the tiebreaker starts with you, Alfreda. Alfreda, we found 100 women who have 10 or more children, and we asked them, if your daughter told you that she wanted to have 10 children, would you try to talk her out of it? How many mothers would try to talk their daughters out of having 10 kids?
Oh, when you have 10 children, you don't want anybody to have the same fate that you had. So I think a lot of them would try to talk them out of it. Let's say 75.
75 out of 100 said, no, don't do it.
Well, I work with 2 girls that come from families of 12, and they love it. They think a big family is the only way to go. So I'm going to say it's going to be a little bit lower.
Lower than that. The actual number of mothers who would try to talk their daughter out of having 10 kids is 42. Betty is right. It is lower. And Betty gets to start the tiebreaker with a 6.
Oh, let's change the card, please.
Big change with just 3 cards up here. A 10.
Go lower.
Lower than a 10. A 4.
Higher.
We have a new champion. If it's higher, we do. Betty wins it in the tiebreaker. Well, Alfreda, time to say goodbye. You've won another $100 for that game. 700 and some nice party gifts.
Thank you.
Good luck with the house. Alfreda Saylor. And Betty Kimes, come on down here, our new champion. Congratulations. Which way do you like to go, Betty? You get comfortable, and we'll get to the money cards right after this. Congratulations. Our new champion, Betty Kimes, $200 for the game. Did you cut those money cards?
Yes, I did.
They are due. Let's get up there and make a bundle. Come on, Betty. Doggone it. And Janice and Marky will start dealing them out with $200 of new money on the money cards. 3 cards to bet as you will on the bottom line. Don't be nervous, Janice. Now, up to the second level, we add another $200 of betting money and 3 more cards. Minimum bet's $50 till you get to the top card, the big bet. There you must risk at least half the money. We're with you. Here's $200. Remember, too, that you can change the base card on each of the 3 levels if you need to, Betty. Let's start off with a good card. 200 and a queen.
Okay, I'm going to go 150 lower.
$150 that this card is lower than a queen. It is with a 2.
I'm going to go all of it higher.
$350 higher than a 2. Yes, with a 4.
I'm going to go $600 higher.
Ooh, a big bet on a 4. Ooh, good luck. $600 higher than a 4. No. All right. It's a great card, though, and we're going to move it up and give you the other 200. Betty, you've got 300 and a long way to go.
Higher.
Let's do it.
All of it.
Doubling it for 600 higher. Yes.
I'm going to go go $50 higher.
Ah, now she's getting a little more conservative. $50 higher. Let's see it much higher. Well, that's high enough. $650.
I'll go $100 higher.
On the middle card, 100 higher. Yes, with a 10. $750, and we move up to 10. You don't have to
I
play
want
it.
to change the card, please.
Big change. Let's get a good card for that big bet. A great card.
I'm going to go all of it higher.
Come on, for $1,500, be there, higher. Yeah! And just barely. $1,500. Oh. Well, maybe that broke the streak. We got some good cards coming. That's nice, Betty. 200 in the game, $1,700. I'm happy with it. I'm happy to be giving it away. We'll be back with a new challenger right after this. Oh, and we've got some cards who will meet a new challenger on Card Sharks. Mike Earhart. Hi, Mike. Hi. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
And won't you tell us something about yourself, sir?
Yes, my name is Mike Earhart. I used to work for the Employment Development Department, those people who pass out those unemployment checks. I am now about to start a new job with a high school in Saugus, and I've gotten interested in sailplaning and flying.
Good sailplane. That's going off the...
Right, gliders, and not the hang glider. That scares me, but the plane, that's enough.
That's how it'd be fun. You get up there and there's nothing but air around.
It's exciting.
Beautiful.
It's quiet
no sound.
and everything.
Good. Well, good luck here, Mike. Nice to have you here with us.
Thank you.
And we'll start the match with a question to the champion, and Betty, that means you. Betty, we found 100 women whose husbands are avid sports fans. And we asked those women, has your husband ever turned down your romantic advances by saying, not now, dear, I have to watch the game? How many women said their husband has rebuffed their advances to watch the game?
Well, my sister's husband has got to be the biggest sports fan there is, and she's tried everything and it hasn't worked. So I'm going to say it's a high number. I'm going to say it's at least 70.
70. Your sister is certainly going to appreciate your mentioning that to America, too, Betty. She says 70. Mike, higher or lower?
Well, I know, this country is very big on sports, and I like watching sports, too. But when it comes to women and the rest of it, no, I'm going to say the number is lower.
Lower.
Can't compete with that.
That's the big game.
That's the big game.
The actual number of women who said their husband has rebuffed their advances by saying, not now, dear, I have to watch the game, is 37. Much lower. Mike, you got it. Sizable number, though, 37. And Mike starts with a 2.
Oh, big time. Okay. Higher, definitely
higher than a 2. A 6.
I'm going to freeze.
And Michael takes the 1-card advantage. And the question to you, Mike. Mike, we asked 100 Protestant ministers. Protestant ministers. Is it wrong to pray for money? How many ministers think it is wrong to pray for money?
Well, I imagine sometimes even ministers pray for money, like to build a new church and all that kind of thing. So I'm going to say it's going to be fairly small. I'm going to say around 40.
40 out of 100 ministers say it's wrong to pray for money.
I don't know. Our minister has prayed for money when it's needed at certain times, and I think they feel like it's really an answered prayer, not something that's wrong. So I'm going to say, you said the number that
yes,
think it's
how many
wrong?
say it's wrong to pray?
I
He said
think
40.
it's going to be less.
You say lower. The actual number of ministers who think it's wrong to pray for money is 13. It is lower. Betty. Yeah, you pray for what will help you. Money will help a lot of us. Betty, you'll start the game with a 5.
Oh, let's change that card.
Doesn't want to play it? Can she improve it? No, another 5.
Okay, I'm going to go higher.
Higher than a 5. No, 3. Not higher. Mike, a break for you to play off the 6.
All right. Higher.
Higher than a 6? Yes, for the
All
queen.
right. Lower.
Lower than a queen. Oh, no, an ace is not lower. And Janice will fill in the spaces. And the question goes to you, Betty. Betty, we found 100 expectant fathers. These are all men. Such an odd terminology, isn't it? Expectant fathers. 100 expectant fathers. They're all men whose wives are at least 6 months pregnant. And we asked them, if you were walking behind your wife, could you tell she was pregnant? How many men could tell their wife was pregnant just by the way she walks?
Well, by the time you're 6 months pregnant, usually, especially with your first baby, you're getting kind of big, and so some people waddle, but I don't think it's that many. So I'm going to say only about 52%.
52 out of 100 say, yeah, they could tell that she's pregnant by the way she walks, Mike.
I'm not married, but I have walked behind some women that look kind of like ducks. I mean, you know they're pregnant. You can't help them. So I'm going to say it's higher.
Higher than that?
Yeah.
The actual number of men who could tell their wife was pregnant just by the way she walks is 58. It is higher. Mike, yes.
Okay.
Mike, you've got a 6.
Jim, I want to change that card.
6 becomes a 10.
All right, that's better. Lower.
Lower than a 10. Yes, a 3.
All right, higher.
Higher than a 3. A 5.
Higher.
For the first game of the match, higher. It is higher. Mike wins game 1. So the challenger is game 1 and $100. And we will set up for game 2. And as you deal out the same 2 decks of cards, Janice, if you will, game 2 starts with a question to you, Mike. Mike, we asked 100 New York City policemen. Should the government give money to people who are victims of violent crimes? How many New York City policemen think the government should give money to victims of violent crimes?
Okay. I've heard New York cops talk before, and I know they're very sympathetic about people who have been victimized, but I don't think they like government too well. So I'm going to say that number is a little low. I'm going to say 37.
37 out of 100 New York City policemen said the government should give money to victims of violent crimes.
Well, I think the government gives money away for everything else, and so I think victims of violent crimes would deserve it as much as anybody else because they are really the losers. And so I think policemen are sympathetic to those. I'm going to say the number's going to be higher.
You say higher. Well, the actual number of New York City policemen who think the government should give money to victims of violent crimes is 67. Betty, you're right. It is higher. And Betty, you start off game 2 with a 4.
Okay, I'm going to go higher.
Higher than a 4. Yes, a queen.
Lower.
Lower than a queen. Oh, no, an ace is not lower. And back to the base card goes the champion, Michael, with a free chance at a 5.
Okay, I'm going to go higher.
Higher than a 5. A 7.
I'm going to freeze.
Taking the one-card advantage, we move over the freeze bar, and the question goes to you, Betty. Betty, we asked 100 single women. When your mother tells you she knows a wonderful boy for you, do you automatically discard him? How many young women automatically discard the wonderful boy their mom knows?
Well, most girls are a lot different than their mothers, and what their mother really likes and what they really want, I think, are two different things. So I'm going to say quite a few of them I would discard it probably, and so I'm going to say it's going to be at least 65.
65 out of 100 say, yeah, if mom says he's wonderful, I don't want him.
Yeah, I've gotten stuck that way, too, where father says he's got a great girl for you, and she wrestles alligators.
Wonderful personality.
Yes, terrific, and peachy dancer, too. And so I'm going to say it's even higher.
Even higher than that?
Yeah, even higher.
The actual number of women who automatically discard the boy their mom thinks is wonderful is 37. No, it's not higher. It's lower, Betty.
Okay, let's go higher.
I guess they figure mom knows something about their taste. Betty, you've got a 4.
I want to go higher.
Higher than a 4? No, it's 2. Betty's having some tough luck with the cards now, Mike, but it's a break for you.
Okay, gonna go higher.
Higher than a 7?
All
yes,
right.
for the jack.
Lower.
Risking it lower. It is a 4.
Higher.
If it's higher, we have a new champion, and it is. Mike came right in there and won it. And Betty, time to say goodbye, but you're leaving us with $1,700, and that's nice. Thank you for joining us. Betty Kine. Mike, come on out here. Mike Earhart, congratulations. Thank you. We'll be back with a new champion right after this. With our champion, Mike Earhart, we've already played the money cards once today, so we dealt out the cards this time in front of our studio audience after you cut them, and hope gave them a good cut, Mike. Let's get them hot. Here's $200. Remember that you can change that base card. Maybe you won't need to. 200 and a 3.
Oh, I like that.
That one you won't need to.
Let's go for the whole thing higher.
All of it, $200 that this is higher than a 3. It is with a 4.
$300 higher.
$300. Higher than a 4. No, it's double 4. Back to 100.
Okay. I'm going to bet that whole 100 that it's higher.
All right, come on. 100 higher than a 4. Yeah.
All right.
All right, back up to 200. We move up to 7. We give you the other 200. You have 400, Mike.
Card's got to go.
You're
Change
telling me a bad middle card? Well,
Oh.
another bad middle card. All right, you've got
All right.
400.
$50 that it's higher.
Haven't seen a big one yet. $50. Higher than a 7. That's high enough. 450.
All right. Going to bet $150 that it's lower.
Ooh,
150
a
lower.
big bet on a middle card, and he says lower. $150? No.
Thought I had a feeling.
Well,
Okay.
guess you got to follow your instincts, but be careful now. We have 2
Okay.
cards to go.
Okay. I'm going to bet $200 lower.
$200 a good bet on the jack. Lower? No. Double jack. Up goes the jack with 2 doubles. Do you want that for the big bet?
Yeah, I'm going to take it.
You're going to play it.
I'm going to play it.
You got $100, Mike.
I'm going to bet the whole 100 that it is lower.
All right, come on. Be there for $200 lower. It is. Oh. Well, it's still not bad. 200 in the game. $400, Mike. You had some tough cards there. Come on down. Maybe Mike will get another crack at the money cards on our next card shark. Join us in, won't you? Bye-bye for now.
Lingo. Redefining words, Daddy-O.
This is Gene Wood speaking for Card Sharks, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.
Okay. I've heard New York cops talk before, and I know they're very sympathetic about people who have been victimized, but I don't think they like government too well. So I'm going to say that number is a little low. I'm going to say 37.
37 out of 100 New York City policemen said the government should give money to victims of violent crimes.
Well, I think the government gives money